Going on, Yankees fans? Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Pinstripe Chronicles. I'm Rob. I'm here with Donald. Uncle Tats will be joining us momentarily. Just got to take care of a couple of things behind the scenes. He will be here shortly. The Yankees, coming off of a series loss to the Arizona Diamondbacks, 2-1. They did salvage the final game of that series, though, yesterday. We're going to get into games 2 and 3. Obviously, we broke down game 1 the other day. We're going to get into our series awards, second awards of the season. I'm excited, looking forward to that. Looking forward to talking with all of you guys in the chat. Good to see everyone here bright and early. We got Ken, we got John, we got O1. I'm sure Jonathan popped in there. He sure did. CT Cards is here. Good to see CT, Stevie B. What's up, everybody? And, of course, everybody. I'm a little bit sick, John, so I'm a little bit under the weather, but the Yankees certainly uplifted me yesterday. Donald, how are we feeling about yesterday's game and the series overall?
I love that Big G spoke to the team before the game. He's like, the New York Yankees do not get swept at home. Boom. That man's a leader. Say what you want about Big G, but he is a leader, man. He is an absolute leader. Absolutely love me some Big G. And he motivated those guys, and they came out swinging. And we are the only team in baseball with 1,000 OPS as a team. So, debate a wall, but this offense is looking good. I underestimated his power 1 through 9. I mean, I'm so worried about the strikeouts. Striking out far too much, but Jazz and Judge are some like this crazy combo meal right now that's just freaking scrumptious, man. It's freaking great fun. Jazz is looking great, and Judge is on fire. He's absolutely on a mission right now. He is on a mission to start this year. His numbers are freaking mind-blowing at this stage. So, yeah, he is the best hitter in baseball. It is straight up. It is. He is doing crazy things right now. He was just one off a cycle. A couple games before that, he was just one off a cycle of home runs. I mean, yep. the dude's just ridiculous right now. So that's been great. Obviously, we'll get into the pitching aspect and, the bullpen and things like that. But to accentuate the positives, they are crushing the ball right now. And Ben Rice looks like a machine. So that's a big positive too. And it's allowing Stan not to have to rush.
Yep.
Because Ben Rice is doing great. So, yeah, there's some positives there. And obviously, JC Escarra, which we'll break down in the awards. Very happy for him. Congratulations to him and his family. That is amazing, man. Your first major league hit. What an achievement to him. So, salute to him.
Yeah, big moment for him. There is some news before we get to Tats and get into these awards. The Yankees just DFA'd Ottavino, and Devin Williams is back. So they use that man. They said we'll use you for a few days and then dump you. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought they would actually send Hedrick down, but they're going to continue with 3 lefties. Maybe that's a good thing because Yarbrough looked terrible yesterday. But Tats, how are we feeling about the series and just last night's game, actually?
Well, I think last night was a good statement by the Yankees. I think that was a game that was needed because the offense is really going into the season was the question, and we were really feeling on that. We were feeling on that top plateau after the Brewers series, and then after getting kind of shut down for 2 games to kind of come back and be like, no. It doesn't matter what team we play. We still can put runs up in a hurry and then have the team chasing us. I always think that's a great way to have the game play out. You never want to go later into the innings trying to make up for a couple of runs. You'd rather always have the upper hand. But the Yankees were faced with some really tough pitching in game 2. Gallen was just untouchable. It's one thing if you have a pitcher of that caliber shut down like the middle of the order, your top guys, but he was shutting everybody down. So I thought the way that they really came out in the game yesterday was so detrimental to the series coming up.
Yeah, it was big because if they would have gotten shut down and swept, then who knows what happens in this Pittsburgh series. So it was needed. It definitely was needed to come out swinging. And Aaron Judge just getting it started early. Ben Rice continuing to smack the crap out of the ball. I mean, it's the best outcome that we could have had considering the first two games. We could argue they should have won game one, if not for one bad pitch by Mark Leiter, but he bounced back last night as well. So there were certainly some ups and downs in that series. And yeah, exactly, Egyptian Magician. It could be worse. You'll take it. 4-2, like Doran says. And what's up to Doran? What's up to Acevedo? What's up to Egyptian Magician in the chat? Now that we got a good group of people here in our chat, do you think we should get to our awards right out of the gate, Tats?
Oh, absolutely, because we want to get as much interaction with you guys as possible. So as we give our awards and we give our names out, feel free, and we encourage you to do the same. Let's get going.
Number 2, awards number 2. So salute, and these awards be better than the freaking Oscars this year. That's for fucking sure. I can guarantee you that. And it won't go as long as Adam Brody's freaking acceptance speech. That I can guarantee as well. Okay, so salute to everyone in the chat. So everyone give your awards as well. We're going to start with the MVP. And the MVP is this guy. This guy here, Mr. 99, Aaron Judge. Oh, yeah. He's done it again. And he is the MVP again. Like another crazy game. This guy is just doing stupendous things. And he is on a mission right now. So the captain is deserving all the accolades right now. So he's the MVP for me. Let's go with T.
Yeah, no, it was Judge. I mean, there's every game it seems like he's making, a statement in some kind of the record books, as he entered 2 of them yesterday. With the, getting his 500th extra base hit in his 999th game, joining Gehrig and DiMaggio, and also, the 5 home runs and 15 plus RBIs, which has only been done by Babe Ruth in the 1932 season, to have those numbers that quick. So, I mean, he's just putting himself in the rankings with some of the best players of the game, not even just Yankees. So he's a walking MVP award right now.
Great point, Rob.
I feel like we're going to give Judge a lot of awards this year. So just to change it up a little bit, not saying he doesn't deserve it, I'm giving it to my boy, the guy I have on my back right now, Ben Rice. I think Ben Rice had a nice series. Yesterday in the leadoff spot, he walked a couple of times, got a big hit that home run in game 1. He's looked really good at the plate. He looks comfortable no matter where he's been put. And the fact that already he's gone from like batting 8th to 1st. And Aaron Boone just said, they were like, why do you put him leading off? He goes, he rakes. And Ben Rice kind of proved him right. He looked really comfortable up there. He's looked comfortable in general. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Aros because he's looked really good out there. So I know Judge is going to get a lot of awards this year. So I'm gonna give this one to my boy Ben Rice.
All right, I like it. A little bit different.
It's actually that's legit. Can't argue it.
Low key, same as last time for me. Low key is the Jazzy combo meal, man. Jazz, smooth jazz. He's outrageous offensively and defensively. I'm loving what Jazz is doing right now. So he for me is low key. And what about the bat drop? Forget mic drop. How about that bat drop after that stupendous home run last night? Where he just looked at it and just went bang, like, yeah, that's right. That's what he does. Low key. Jazz. T.
I went a little outside the box on this one because there was really, I mean, yeah, Jazz, you had, right, like there could have been a lot of Yankees to go to for low key, but I decided, to be impartial and honest. I gave it to Gallen. I thought he just had a tremendous plan and a plan of attack against the Yankees to really shut those bats down after the way they played against Burns, to just shut that team down the way they did, because it's not like I said earlier. It wasn't like they just shut down the top of the order. You don't see pitching performances like that in today's game anymore, with the amount of strikeouts and the endurance that he had. So I had to give him credit for his outing.
Robinho.
I'm giving this one to Aaron Judge. I had to give him something. I can't leave out the captain. But yeah, he had a phenomenal series in that game last night. Set the tone early with the homers. So, I mean, he's going to get a ton of awards this year, but it wouldn't be right to leave him out entirely. So I'll give him my low-key MVP.
All right. Low-key, who of the fans has who as their low-key? What are we guessing here? It's a democracy, so whoever wins. Does Stevie B recommend Dominguez?
Looks like Jazz.
Steven B as Jazz.
Okay. Stevie B as Judge. Right. So MVP Judge.
Low-key Jazz.
Low-key Jazz. So same as me. Okay. Good job, fans. Let's go with the Clutch Award. This I'm going to give to Ben Rice. And not much more needs to be said about that. That guy's been fantastic. So he is my Clutch Award winner. Rob.
I like Ken's shout at Fernando Cruz, but I'm giving this to Luke Weaver for last night because that could have got ugly. He came in relief. They had the grand slam, and considering it was the only game that we won, I got to give a shout out there to Weaver because I was waiting for. I was like, where the hell is he? When's Boone going to use him? And he finally brought him in, and he got out of that jam. So it was nice to see Weave out there because it's been a little while, and he got through it. So I mean, Cruz was fantastic. You can give him the pitching award if you want, but talk about clutch moments. I'm going to give that to Luke Weaver.
I also had Weaver. I wanted to give. I thought about giving an extra award to a bat, but when you strike out 30 times in the first two games, it's hard to there really wasn't anything to stand out outside of yesterday's game. But I thought, Weaver finally got his number called, and he delivered, for what was it, a 4-out stave. No rust whatsoever. I thought he was phenomenal yesterday. I had to give it to Weaver.
Are the fans going with Fernando Cruz?
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, that's a good shout because Cruz looked really good.
Yeah.
You know who? You can also give that to Trent Grisham because he had a big game yesterday.
Grisham was fire yesterday.
Grisham was great. It's good to see.
He had a great game. He did have a great game. All right. Aaron Boone out of 10. I'm giving him an 8. Tats.
I originally had him like a 4 out of 10.
Whoa! Right.
I was not happy with his usage of the bullpen. I thought that he really underperformed with his decisions of the arms. But after the outcome of yesterday's game with the lineup, where everybody was up in an uproar, he just seems to tap the right people in the right game. Because all the players we were scratching our heads that were in the lineup actually were very productive. So I'm going to go, because I still want to put the bullpen use in play. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10.
Well, I'm giving him a 4 because how many times are you going to use Pablo Reyes as a pinch hitter? Can we stop with this? I'm kidding. His bullpen decisions, Pablo Reyes, and the game's on the line. You're down to your last out, and that's who you're using. I know the bench is limited, but Pablo Reyes, yeah, I'm getting sick of that. He didn't have a good series. Let's be honest. He got bailed out last night by the offense because leaving in Yarbrough for that grand slam. It seemed like it was written on the wall for it. So I didn't like his bullpen usage really this entire series. But the first game I can't really blame him. But I didn't like the Yarbrough decision yesterday, and I thought his decision to put Pablo Reyes as a pinch hitter. Plus, we lost the series, so I can't give him too high of a grade. I didn't like his decision making, so I'll go 4.
Damn, I must be positive about Aaron Boone right now. I don't know what's going on.
There's
We
a
flipped the
there's a
script.
turn, right? That's an about face for us.
I know. It just shows that I'm not a hater. That's the fans. The fans have got it all over the freaking joint. We've got 9s, we've got 7s, we've got 4s. How we round that up, I'm not sure. So I think we'll just give it a 6, I think. I think the fans is rounded out to about a 6. You're right about the bullpen management, but I think I was probably just thinking about the fact that the lineup moves that he made all kind of tended to work, including Grisham and Ben Rice leading off and things like that. So I thought I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. Also, this rotation isn't giving him any length right now. So he's going to be using a lot of bullpen arms, probably something he's not comfortable with. And there's going to be some results that are going to be rough from that. So I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. Plus Williams being out, so he called up, they were using kind of all kinds of guys. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt for this series, although there are some things that he needs to fix, and that's obviously the stuff that Rob pointed out. Okay, let's go with the pitching award. Not great pitching this series. None that's like mind-blowing to me, but I'm going to give it to Weaver because Weaver kind of saved the day a little bit because that was looking like a really rough loss had Weaver not kind of shut the door. So I'm giving the pitching award to Weaver. Tess?
I had Carrasco. His first start, he did go the full 5 innings, to get the win. After, we've seen veteran players come in, have a good spring, and just not execute in the regular season. And just the whole journey of Carrasco, the criticism on Carrasco, he came, he delivered. And after we gave him, an early lead, he held his own. I thought that of the pitching, of the 3 starters, Carrasco, I think, had the better outing.
You look good, Ish. Rob?
I'm giving it to Will Warren. His first start looked a hell of a lot better than what we were seeing from him last year. So I'm going to – the rotation wasn't great this series. I mean, Rodon started off rough and then was able to buckle down, keep us relatively close, but the offense wasn't scoring that night. So – but yeah, I'm going to give this one to Will Warren. I thought he had a good start.
Warren did keep us in the game.
Yeah, all kinds of got different ones here from the fans. We've got some for Warren, some for Carrasco. I'll go with Stevie B's Warren then in that case. Come on, guys. You need to get more of your opinions in. We're going to go with Warren then for the fans. Choice, let's go with You're My Boy Blue! You're My Boy! Escarra gets the You're My Boy Blue award. Congratulations to You're My Boy Blue! JC, what a comeback, man. What a comeback. And it's a really good life lesson for all of us. Never to give up on your dreams. So JC gets that award. Rob?
I'm giving this one to Anthony Volpe. He's my boy. He had a hit every series. I got a couple of homers. He's the only one that came through in that second game, 3-run home run. That was pretty exciting. Whether people like him or not, he's showing up so far. At least there's some power out of his bat that we didn't see last year. So I like the start he's off to. The power's there. He's coming up with some big hits here and there. So early on, I like what I'm seeing from the shortstop. And his defense has been very good. They turned a nice double play yesterday to help Carrasco get out of a jam. So I'm going to give it to my boy Volpe.
Yeah, I actually mine. I was thinking, to give it to Grisham for kind of piggybacking on Judge's offense. But when you get your first major league hit, you're my boy. And the excitement, the journey he had, I went with Escarra for my boy.
Love it. And happy birthday, Sunil. And Sunil's vote.
Yes, happy birthday, Sunil.
Sunil's vote carries because he's the birthday boy. Good job. Okay, the L. Probably have to. You know what? I thought Rodon pitched like boiled ass, but he did manage to give you a little bit more length, so we give it to Yarborough.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Yarborough was
Bless you.
just. Ugh, even my body's like rejecting the thought of Ryan Yarborough. So, yeah, Ryan Yarborough.
I had Yarborough too. It's grand slam. I was excited for him, but really bad pitch to a good offensive team. So, yeah, Yarborough was not good. Neither was Tim Hill. You're right, Sean. Bullpen in general, outside of like two guys, was rough this series. Although Ottavino pitched well, and they cut him. So I don't really know.
I'm surprised they got rid of him. He did everything that you could possibly ask.
Right, especially after having a terrible spring and pitching no games for like the last 2 weeks. Comes out and he was pretty good.
Yeah. That's
Like Ken's saying, it could. I was writing down Yarborough and Leiter for the grand slams to kind of put a little doubt into the series, and the one game we lost, and it could have been a lot worse yesterday. But I think Leiter redeemed himself yesterday, so I took him off the L, and Yarborough got mine.
agreed. Again, kind of a mix. Sean Browning says Hill. Acevedo says Yarborough. A couple others say Yarborough. What do you guys think?
Looks like Yarborough takes it.
Yeah,
All right. Yarb takes it.
a lot of people are not.
And so we've covered the pitching, we've covered Boone, we've covered everything other than the Aaron Hicks Award. I can't really think of an Aaron Hicks Award, but
Oh, I can.
okay. Uncle Tats, then go for it, bro.
Mine is Aaron Boone for his bullpen management and continuing to put Pablo Reyes in the games. Stop. You are Aaron. You get the Aaron Hicks Award.
Let's
Stop
go, Tats.
using Pablo Reyes.
What was your grade for him? You gave him a 6?
I gave him a 6.
Probably should have lowered that considering he got your Hicks Award. Pretty positive grade there.
That's true.
I'm going with the Yankee fans that are already saying Jason Dominguez is a failure and he's not ready. They should send him down. 6 games, and his numbers are actually pretty good. He had one bad game, and I'll say that his game the other night. Then again, the offense in general was bad. His at bats were pretty damn bad, but after that rough strikeout night, I think he had 3 Ks and he was swinging at basically air. The discourse that I was seeing on social media that this kid needs to be sent down, he wasn't ready, they need to bring somebody in to play left field, even though nobody knows who the answer to that is. They just say get rid of him, and there's no response to who do you want to call up instead. Yep. 6 games in, he's hitting the ball pretty well, and they're talking as if this kid has been in the league for 10 years. This is his first full season. 6 games in, and we're already doing this. I said this was going to happen. I didn't think it would happen after 6 freaking games, where his numbers have actually been pretty good. And believe it or not, he's played a good left field. And yet, what more do you want, people? Does he need to hit 500? Does he have to have Aaron Judge's stat line for him to be considered good after 6, not even a week's worth of games, and people are already yapping that this kid is not legit or he's a bust and all this crap? Fans, please, patience. It's 6 games, and he's playing well, and yet it's not good enough. So I'm giving it to the fans, a good chunk of the fans that are being really foolish with the way they're talking about Jason Dominguez right now.
That's a good one. Yeah, and to be honest, I tend to agree that the chanting of F. Juan Soto when Soto's not even playing against them just now, it seems kind of pointless. Like, what are we doing here? Like, honestly. So, yeah, I think the fans are going to take a bit of an L, too. I mean, if you want to wait till we play the Mets, then fine. Absolutely. Go at it when we face them. But otherwise, let it go. I mean, show a little bit more class. So yeah, I'm pretty good with Rob's choice there. The fans, Tats, Boone, and this Pablo Reyes stuff totally get. I'm gonna give it to strikeouts. That's my Aaron Hicks award. We've struck out 37 times. 30 times in the first 2 games, and another 7 times yesterday. 37 strikeouts, man. That is not normal. That is not okay under any circumstances. I know the analytics are okay with it, but I'm not okay with it. And long term, that's not going to work. You can't strike out this amount of times in a series. You just cannot do it. So the whole offense is going to get the Aaron Hicks Award for 37 strikeouts. Struck out 16 times in game 2, 14 times in game 1. Bit of an improvement yesterday, but in general, 37 is far too much. So that gets the Aaron Hicks Award because that has to stop. Absolutely cannot be accepted. And that is our awards.
Yeah, I'm seeing Ken's comments with the AJ Puck for the Hicks Award. And when AJ Puck was in the game and he gave up the home run to Volpe and I almost blew the save, I'm going, oh, please blow it. Please blow it.
I wanted him to
Not
blow
even for the win
save.
for the Yankees. For one particular reason.
One particular asshole. You can say it. One particular asshole. I was so happy when I thought we were going to see AJ Puck blow that save because fuck that guy.
Yep.
Not AJ Puck. We're talking about the person that loves him so much.
Let's go over a comment from Alex. He's like, "What's up, y'all? Heading on the road to Pittsburgh. Gonna be a fun weekend, my man."
Oh, enjoy the game, Alex.
Enjoy. I got to get to that stadium.
Oh, that's right. It is an afternoon series. That's right. Good.
PNC is a beautiful ballpark. For me, it's the most beautiful ballpark in the whole major leagues. Get an unbelievable view of the city from every
number one ballpark favorability outside of Pirate fans. They ran a poll, with fans across the league, and everybody loves PNC Park.
No, it's the most beautiful. And as I say, every single seat in the house is a good seat because you get an unbelievable view of the cityscape, and it's a very, very beautiful city. Especially at night when it's all lit up. Some of the buildings are all lit up really pretty. Obviously off air, I'll give Alex some recommendations as to where he should be checking out because there's some really cool places that you should go to. Lots of cool Irish pubs, and so I know that Uncle Tats would love it. There's a ton of Irish pubs, and they know me pretty well there, even though I don't drink, but I do tend to go in there with the whole Scottish-Irish connection that I've got. So it's a very, very cool city, and enjoy. And it's going to be full of Yankee fans. Last time I was there, it was like 80-20 Yankee fans.
It's also the Pirates. Yeah.
It was absolutely packed. The Clementi Museum is really cool. Been in there. They've got a really cool sports museum as well, where you can see some of the Super Bowl trophies. They've got the Negro leagues as well in there, and they've got you can listen in to this really cool audio of Pittsburgh beating the Yankees in the World Series way back when Clementi played. They've also got the home plate, where from the original park. So they've got a whole bunch of cool stuff in Pittsburgh, and then that sports museum as well. So all kinds of stuff, all kinds of cool stuff. So very cool. Enjoy, Alex.
Yeah, maybe the next time you're in the States, we take a road trip.
Dude, I'm up for it, man.
Yeah. Like looking ahead to the series with the Pirates. How lucky are the Yankees that they don't have to face Skeens?
Oh, you thought we were striking out a lot now. They strike out like 20 times against him. That dude is insane. Like,
We're not facing him this series.
no.
Nope.
Oh, I'm kind of disappointed about that, man. I wanted to face him.
In a weird way, I did want to face him too, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad we don't have to watch us get potentially mauled by him. He pitched against us last year, like the last series, and he just blitzed through the entire lineup.
Yeah.
And that's when we had Soto and Judge. So it's like, imagine what he'll do now. I'm kind of glad we're not, but at the same time, I kind of wish we were. It's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's definitely a weird mentality because it's like it's a game that's not an automatic. All right, it's going to be a tough game, but you do want the competitiveness of these players. They want to beat the best players. That's what makes the game. That's why they compete. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great series. I think it's going to be well played. I think coming off of the win yesterday is going to be beneficial to the Yankees going forward because at least they're able. I mean, if we were to say in the beginning of the season what these 6 games, where going on the road, what we want our record to be, I think 4-2 is something I think everybody would put in their back pocket and run.
Hell yeah.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubt.
There was a good chance we could have gotten swept yesterday with
Yeah.
the lineup that we were sending out.
Yep.
Plus Carrasco, who none of us knew what we were going to get.
Right.
And it turned out fine. And and that's why at the start of the show I gave credit to Big G. I love that Big G spoke to the team beforehand. That shows a lot of leadership. Shows the Yankees don't get swept at home. Boom, and they came out on fire. So anyone who doesn't like Big G can go and take a walk.
Yeah. Kick rocks, as NFE likes to say.
Kick rock.
There is NFE. We haven't seen NFE in here in a little while. This would be a perfect time for him to pop in and say it for us, but we'll say it for him since he's not here today. But we got Fried versus Keller today. That should be a good one.
That's a good
Mitch
matchup.
Keller and Max Fried. Hopefully we see a better Max Fried today with better defense behind him. Because like you said earlier, Donald, we're not getting a lot of length. So
Yeah.
we can use that. I'm not saying he's got to go 8 or 9. We're getting Devin Williams back today, so if he can just get us through like 6 or 7, we should be in good shape. But Keller is really good, so it should be a good pitching matchup. Hopefully,
Yeah, it's if he's able to get into the 6th inning and then hand it off to the strength of the pen, because I know he's going to put Hill back out because he likes to get guys in right after a kind of a tough outing. To help them rebuild their confidence in themselves, which is fine. I have no issue with that. It's been, every team does it. But Fried is going to be the key. He's got to get depth he's got to eat some innings. He can't get knocked around. We need him to shake off his first openings rust and be the guy that we need him to be without Coleman in the lineup in the rotation.
yeah, it's a good point. Sunil, is it your birthday? I haven't seen you mention it. Doran brings up a good point here. Huge roster decision when Stanton is good to go. Rice is making his case big time, and Goldschmidt as well. Who goes? Hypothetically, trade on Goldschmidt. I don't think they trade him, but you might see a lot of Rice at first against righties, and then Goldschmidt will play against lefties. You'll see a kind of a mix. Because Ben Rice, if this keeps up, not only is he making a case to play a lot more this year, but he's making a case to be the first baseman in the future. But again, it's 6 games, so I don't want to go too far into the future there. But if he's playing like this by the time G is activated, they got to make sure they keep Big G healthy. So they're going to give him days off here and there. But Goldschmidt's strength is that he hits lefties very well. So they could find a way to platoon him. Then you're right, they cannot send him down. If he's hitting like this, they won't send him down. But he needs to absolutely get as much playing time as he can.
I don't envisage him being the first baseman of the Yankees down the line because I think they're going to be, all in on Murakami. Maybe even Vlad. But I think what it means is that when Stanton decides to retire or when his contract's up or when the Yankees buy him out, whichever the 3 it is, whenever time they move on from Stanton, that's I think their replacement. I think Rice is going to be like the DH / backup first baseman / backup catcher, someone like that. And I think that's how they're going to use him, because I think down the line they're never going to want to be tied to a DH, one DH forever. I think they want to have like the flexibility to allow an Aaron Judge to DH once or twice a week. You know what I'm saying? And Ben Rice is the perfect age in which, he's not just going to be just going to hold up the DH spot for the years to come. He's someone that can play a number of other positions as well. I think that's what they're going to do. Duran says Stanton is 2 years past this year in his deal. Right. So I think you might be looking at Reyes being the starting DH full time. Maybe not next year, but the year after for sure. And in that time, you're still going to get he's still going to get a lot of playing time because of Stan's injuries and things like that. So I think you're going to see a lot of Ben Rice. I just don't think it'll be as an everyday first baseman necessarily. I think they like the flexibility, but for now, this is great, and he rakes, as Boone points out. He absolutely rakes, and I love his approach. I love that he's worked incredibly hard in the offseason. He's bulked up. He's seen pitches incredibly well, and he's freaking blasting them, man.
I was going to say, with his top of the bat, to have on the bench a first baseman, catcher, backup is not a terrible role for anybody. That is that could be probably one of the more valuable bench pieces that we would have.
Yeah,
but I also got to give him credit for his double play yesterday. His baseball IQ, where as a backup, sometimes they get that panic where they hesitate for a second. He knew exactly what he was doing as soon as the contact was made. And he threw that he got that ball to second flawlessly.
He's a much better first baseman than he is a catcher. Like he's not a very good catcher. So I wish he knew how to play like third base or something. That'd be perfect if they can find a way to get him to play third, but let's not get too crazy here. But yeah, early returns on Rice is he deserves to play. And we don't know when Stanton's coming back, so that's still a ways away. But if this, like you said, if it keeps up, you got to find a way to play him. Because they talked about wanting to get Goldschmidt days off. They already gave him one yesterday. And Goldschmidt's a guy that plays every game. Like, he's had pretty much an entire career where he plays almost every game. So he's not necessarily a guy that needs rest, but considering he's 37, the Yankees have this injury curse that no matter who we get is constantly hurt. He's already had a back issue in the spring, so he's already been hit by it. It just lines up perfectly that Ben Rice, who has lefty pop, can go in there and play first if need be. He can DH if you need him to. In an emergency, he could catch if needed. So it works out. There's no way they send him down. Absolutely no way. It's Reyes or Peraza, and most likely Reyes, but I don't know if Stanton's back by... At this rate, maybe it's June, July, the earliest. I'm not really sure because he's got to get into game action, so we're still a ways away from that. But it is a conversation that should be had once we get to that point. So what do they do? But if this keeps up, Ben Rice is going to be not just in the lineup, he's going to be in the middle of the lineup because that power is legit.
The fans are talking a lot about Dominguez in the chat. But yeah, let's touch on Dominguez. I have no issues with what Dominguez is doing so far this year. He looks fine. His at-bats been good. He's shown a little bit of power. And left field is nowhere near as bad as it was in spring training. It looks like he's learning. So what's the problem?
Fans want instant gratification. That's all it is. Every prospect has to come up and immediately be what Aaron Judge is right now. Because if they're not, they're failures. They want every prospect to be the next Jackson Merrill or what Christian Campbell's doing for Boston. Not everyone's going to do that. And yet, if you look at Dominguez's numbers, I believe he's just south of a 800 OPS. So 6 games in, what more do you want? He's hitting 250. He's got a homer. He's hit the crap. Almost had one yesterday. Opposite field double, by the way. It was really nice off the wall. His left field has been fine. He hasn't been given a chance to play throughout an entire 9 innings. A couple of times they've taken him out, which I don't agree with. He's done everything. He's had one bad game, and that was when everybody was striking out like crazy. So what more do people want out of him? Exactly, Sean. We're 6 games in, and his numbers are fine. And everyone's like, well, maybe he's not always hyped up to be. What more do you want? You want 10 home runs? Because that's impossible. Not even Judge has 10, and he's putting up an historic start to the season. So what more do you want out of the kid? He's doing just fine.
Like, if he goes off on a tear, in for the next 2 weeks, all's forgotten. Like, there's, especially with these younger players, there's going to be ups and downs. I remember back when Trevor Story first came up with Colorado, they were he was just a home run machine. Now it's not so much. So there are players that are going to have the hype, and when Dominguez first got called up in that Houston series, we all thought we hit the lottery. And then he came back in the next season before he got hurt. He was looking a little mediocre. So, there are going to be some growing pains with Dominguez. It's just a matter of being patient. It's not like he's the one we're relying on to carry this team. It's not like other sports. If you lose your quarterback, you're screwed. This is different. This is more of a team.
I didn't say that, Sunil. I said what Judge is now. So use those ears. We know they're old ears, but use them, my friend.
Well, I want to ask you guys a question. If in the age of strikeouts and how we really, strikeouts aren't looked at as as the worst thing of the game anymore. If I asked you how many strikeouts Wells has, what would your number be?
It's probably up there because after the first 2 games, no, what does he have, like 4, 5?
3 strikeouts.
That dude doesn't strike out, man.
In 5 games played.
He's my leadoff hitter.
Yep. Because actually, I was going through the box scores real quick, and I'm going because I heard that yesterday. I had to hear that wrong. I know I got old ears like Sunil too. So I'm like, wait a minute. Before I open my mouth, insert foot. Yeah, he's got 3 strikeouts, and the game 2, none. He didn't strike out once against Gallen. He was actually the only offense production against Gallen. What a season he's having.
Yeah, he works counts. He gets on base. So is Dominguez. Dominguez has like a 350 on base right now. So who leads the team in strikeouts? Is it Jazz? I think it's Jazz.
Yeah, I only focused on Wells through the box scores. I didn't go through Jazz. But to tie it in with Dominguez, Wells was somebody that a lot of people were saying, once we got rid of Trevino, who's going to be the veteran presence to back him up?
Right.
Well, Wells does not need his backup. You know what they did? They gave him the time to just find himself and hone his own craft. And look what we have. Give Dominguez the same amount of time. Same thing with Volpe. Volpe's having a great start to the year.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to be patient. It's not always not every prospect that comes up is going to be Aaron Judge. To do that, it's impossible. These are once in a generation player is Judge. So stop. You can't compare it to everybody else that came before them. That's like comparing Volpe to Jeter. It's a ludicrous comparison.
Yeah. So just to answer your question, Jazz does lead the team in strikeouts. He's on 10, but doesn't really tell the whole story because his OPS is 1,162. So I think he's doing pretty good. And his on-base percentage is almost 400. It's 370. His slug is a stupendous almost 800. So, and he's batting almost 290. So these are all numbers that are way above your wildest dreams. So that's where the analytics is right. The strikeouts doesn't really tell the whole story. But plus that 4 home runs and 8 RBIs, pretty nice. And then after him is Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, Volpe's got a high slug or OPS, and everything else is kind of like blah. Like his average is low, his on base is low, but his slug is through the roof, so his OPS is pretty high. I think he's got like
Yeah.
a 900 OPS right now because of the home runs.
He
Yeah, it's a
does.
very skewed number right now.
Yeah. I need him. I like the home runs. I like what he's doing with the torpedo bat. I just need a little more on base from him because even though the home runs are fun, we do need to get more guys scoring like on balls in play because that in that ninth thing against Puck, even though the home run was great, it probably would have been better if it was like a double. This way you can keep the line moving. In a strange way, you wanted a different outcome there.
Yeah, he's an at bat. You want to pass the baton and utilize his speed.
I think the only guy that's like really, really, truly benefiting from the torpedo bat is Volpe, because there are some shots that have hit the almost near the end of the bat, but still carrying over the right field fence. Because wasn't his last home run, didn't it have an expected batting average of 0.60? And it went out of the ballpark.
Yeah, it was a porch job.
It really was. So I think that's the only real example of that bat just kind of really helping, because Jazz's swing has always been tailor-made for Yankee Stadium. Mm-hmm. He's got a power swing, Jazz Chisholm, and the torpedo bat's obviously helping a little bit, but he's still crushing the ball. And let's talk a little bit more about Jazz Chisholm. He's basically been a star since coming to the Yankees, and I know it's the popular thing to do to blame Brian Cashman for everything, right? But should it not be time to credit him when credit's due? And it's time to give him some serious credit for that Jazz Chisholm trade, because when that trade went down, obviously, me and Rob have known about this guy for a couple of years, so we've been kind of fans of his. So I was really happy about the trade, right? But there was a lot of people that were very iffy on the trade. A lot of people, a lot of respected people were like, he strikes out a lot. He's kind of got a weird personality. He never gets on base. Is this really the guy you want? And I was thinking, no, this guy he's a guy that needs the bright lights, and he's got a brilliant power swing, and I've been following him for years. Nobody thought Jazz would be this good, Donald. I'm sorry, man. I need to check back the previous Pinstripe Chronicles, because last year we were very, very excited about the trade. I was very, very excited about the trade. Me and Rob were like texting each other, we just got Jazz. This guy can play, man. But there was a lot of really respected voices that didn't really feel it. So time to give Brian Cashman some serious credit, because a lot of people were freaking out about losing Augustin Ramirez, but I felt that Jazz Chisholm trade was a trade that needed to be happening. And let's give some credit to Brian Cashman, man, because he gets a lot of stick for some really bad moves. But lately, he's been pretty damn good, and I think this was one of his best moves.
I give him a lot of credit, even more credit, because he wanted him to play second. And if he would have gotten his way, we wouldn't have had to worry about the defense last year as much as we did.
Right.
I think he was overruled by some higher ups there. He wanted Glaber to move to third, or they could have traded Glaber, but whatever. But no, Jazz is great. Jazz is great. I love Jazz. I'm glad we got him. He took on third. Dorn. He took on third base, made it look kind of easy. I know it wasn't perfect, but statistically, analytically, he actually graded really well at third, which is why they could have kept him there and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But he's so good at second. So watching him play defense at second, it's the best defense we've had at second base probably since Castro. But Castro, you could say Jazz is better. So maybe even since Cano. Like, it's such an upgrade watching him at second base. DJ as well was really good at second when they put him there. So, but it's night and day watching him play second base compared to Glaber the last few years. It's night and day. So I love the trade. I make that trade 10 times out of 10. I like Augustin Ramirez, but we had 100 catchers. You needed a third baseman. We needed a second baseman, so we had to get an infielder. And people don't like Jazz's personality are the same people that are saying this team needs more energy. So we bring in a high energy guy, and they don't like it sometimes. So I don't know what people want anymore. The Yankees needed to play a guy like this. Maybe he talked a little bit too much last year when he said we're going to go win the championship, but at the same time, you kind of want that. You want someone that's going to be a little cocky, have a little arrogance, because for a while the Yankees were just a little too like stuck in the mud with the way they would talk. So you want that energy, and he seems to be bringing out more energy in Judge, because you heard Judge's press conference last night after the game. He's like, "Oh yeah, I told Jazz I'm going to beat him in stolen bases this year." Like, that's the like friendly competition that you want. Like, you want that from your team. It's remember when we got Swisher and everyone was like, "Who's this guy?" And he ended up being one of the more popular players on the team, and still to this day, yeah, everybody loves Nick Swisher. So I think it was a perfect trade. I'm glad he's here, and I think it was Ken that asked, do we extend him? If he plays like this for the next couple of years, or at least for the next season, you got to think about it, because who knows if George Lombard or Roderick Arias are going to be this level at second base that Jazz is right now. So it's too early to talk about extension, but if this does keep up, and you look at his numbers from half a season with the Yankees last year to what that could be for a full season and what that could be this year, extension talks could be ramped up, or probably should be ramped up.
No, I'd say this offseason they should be extending him. Full stop. Just shout out to Ryan Garcia at Ryan Garcia ESM. Here's a really cool stat. So he's got 15 home runs in his last 52 games as a Yankee. So that's what it's basically one in like just over three. Which over 150 games would be 43 home runs. So there is a real chance and a serious chance that he's going to hit 40 this year. I can see it. I think he's going to hit 40.
Well, I think it was Rob's prediction for a 30-30 season.
It was mine too. I think he is going to have a 30-30 season, but I think I'm actually going to amend it. I think he's going to have 40. I think he's going to have 40.
And you know, where they're putting him in the lineup, because a lot of people, myself included, were thinking about him at leadoff, but his skill set is kind of perfect for cleanup, fifth, around that part of the order. So his protection, him being protection for Aaron Judge, is perfect right now, because Bellinger in the 2 spot is working for now, but Jazz as a protection, you got two big lefties in between or in front of and behind Aaron Judge. That helps. And Judge, the way he's going right now, Sean, he could hit 70. So.
Oh yeah, Jesus, he could be
as long as they have the balls to pitch to him.
I mean, if Jazz is swinging the bat like this, they're going to have to pitch the Judge. That's the thing.
Which is ideal.
Yeah.
Because they made the mistake of pitching the Judge yesterday, and you saw what he did to them. If the Yankees extend Jazz, then Lombard, Arias, or Jones will be traded. I'm not sure why Jones would have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I would have put Jones in that conversation now.
Why would Jones have anything to do with Jazz?
Lombard and Arias, perhaps, but not Jones.
Jones is an outfielder. I don't think it'll have anything to do with Jones. Lombard, I don't think it'll have anything to do with Lombard. Lombard could play third
baseman, yeah.
Yeah, he could play third base.
He won't be ready for another year at the latest, so maybe 2.
He's also he could also play shortstop, and maybe they view that Lombard's a better shortstop long term than Volpe is. So we're not sure about that. Arias, maybe. Arias is the only one in that bubble, but I think Arias is very good too. So I'm not sure about that.
I see a lot of talk about we need a third baseman. Who's having a really good start to their season is Nolan Arenado. He's hitting the crap out of the ball right now. I like Oswaldo, but that was my big fear, is like I don't like him as an everyday player.
Yeah.
Just don't. And considering Pablo Reyes is the guy who's playing against lefties, sure could use a Nolan Arenado right now.
Yeah. Oswaldo Cabrera is playing fantastic defense, but he's not actually done anything. So no RBIs yet. He's not really getting on base. He's not really been much of a threat. Some of his at-bats have been okay, but I think they should have upgraded at third base. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. But I think probably the way that they were looking at it is going, well, I mean, Arenado is going to have great defense, but Oswaldo Cabrera can give you that great defense for like a fraction of the cost. But we will need to get a third baseman if we really want to have any serious ambitions of of doing something in the playoffs. They have to. They absolutely have to. But to be fair, Cabrera, his defense has been great. He made a couple of nice plays again this series at third. Tremendous plays. So defensively, he's been there. His offense hasn't really been there, though.
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's too early to even talk. Really dive into trade speculations. You said it's 6 games in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting take, Doran, with the trade deadline acquisitions, with guys coming back healthy. Have a good day, Mr. Barros. But it's like I said, it's 6 games in. I don't want to. I want to kind of enjoy the ride we're on right now because I'm enjoying it. Even with the first 2 games of the season, the series with Arizona, there was still some positives to kind of get out of it. So I don't want to go too far into the crystal ball. Maybe in June you start looking a little more into that, but not this early in the season.
Sean, where are you seeing that Royce Lewis stuff? Is that like a legitimate rumor, or is that just like speculation from somebody? Because that's a good. I like Royce Lewis, but if it's just like some random fan generated suggestion, then I don't want to talk about that. Again, we're still months away, and we know the Yankees view returning players. They're gonna say getting Luis Heel back is like making an acquisition. I can guarantee you that.
Yep.
Like, you can set your clock to it. When Luis Heel's activated, they're going to say it's kind of like making a trade for a starting pitcher. Whether it's Cashman, Boone, Hal, or Kay, someone's going to say it.
Oh, no.
Oh, so it's just a speculation. Okay.
Yeah, absolute speculation.
Just speculation. All right. Speculation. Okay, that's fine. He's a Yankees fan? Okay, well, a lot of people are Yankees fans.
Yeah.
They always get to play for the Yankees. There's some experts are speculating a rumored trade. Okay, well, it's
the same
speculation.
experts that said that we were doing a full court press on
Bregman.
Yep.
I mean, like it's months away, so we'll see. If the Twins are out of it, maybe he is available. Maybe Willie Castro's available, but for now, we're gonna give Cabrera a chance. We have to, but yeah, backroom talk. It's April 4th. There's no way no one's going to get traded at this point. The Yankees wanted to get a bat. They should have gotten a bat 2 months ago, but
yeah, it's. I don't want to feed into the speculations and the rumors, and it's not to throw shade or disrespect on anybody else, but that's just not what we do here. We try to speak in although it's our opinions, we try to hold back on feeding into any of that. Like the other thing I wanted to bring up though with that was being speculated was you seeing we already seen a couple of players get extensions and contracts this early in the season, and it was brought up online that there was the opinion that at this pace, if you had to give an extension to one player, would it be either Wells or Volpe? Do you just buy out their arbitration now and give them a contract?
Wells.
I agree on that.
I like Volpe, but he hasn't put up the numbers that some of these other players have. I think it was very early to extend Christian Campbell, but he didn't get a ton of money. They bought out all of his renewable years and arbitration, so that makes sense. But yeah, TC, you're right. Volpe is kind of, I hate that word, mid, but he is pretty offensively. We're hoping he's just league average with plus glove.
TC,
but Austin Wells is doing both at the high level.
Yeah, I think that midterm. I think that's an age thing because I get yelled at for using it all the time too.
Oh, it's a stupid thing to say. I hate it. It's mid. Just say it's average, man. It's average.
Wells is the only one I would consider.
Yeah,
Wells is the only one I would consider. I wouldn't even consider Volpe.
I'd consider Dominguez if he has like a good first couple of months or something like that. Then I would think about trying to get ahead of it because we don't want a situation where, let's say he has a good first 3 years and they don't extend him. you run into the same problem because he's going to get paid. He's going to be a free agent when he's like 26, 27. He'll be around that Soto age. And if he is the player that we think he can be, that's a big payday. So hats off to the Padres for getting ahead of that with Jackson Merrill. Hats off to the Red Sox for getting ahead of that with Christian Campbell. And the Diamondbacks extended Ketel Marte again, which they didn't really need to, but they did. So,
how many years of arbitration does Wells have?
I think he's still on a renewable contract. I think next year might be, or 2 years from now will be arbitration. I think you get 3 or 4 years of arbitration. So it's still a ways away. But in order to avoid the headache of exchanging numbers, if you can get him to like a team-friendly deal where he's getting more money than he would expect at that point, just to get ahead. Yeah, he's got 2 more years till he hits arbitration. It's really just to get ahead of the curve and avoid the headache of arbitration.
Sean, I respectfully disagree. I don't think you need to rush to extend Volpe just now. I mean, let's not forget that Gary Sanchez was the best catcher in baseball. Basically, for the first couple of years he broke into the league, and then it just had a steep, massive decline. Could you imagine if we'd given him a massive contract and it would have really hurt us? So Volpe needs to prove us something significant. He needs to really, really show us something. I know the 4 home runs is nice, but I think we need to slow down on that. Now, Wells, he looks like he's on another level. He's already looks like an all-star caliber catcher, so I'd be closer with him. But I think we just need to be a little bit patient with this. Plus, you also know that Hal Steinbrenner has a very strict budget. So if you start extending them, then that eats into, money that we can go into free agency and acquire star level talent or going at trades or whatever to acquire star level talent. Those kind of things have to be borne in mind as well due to that budget. So, as I'm saying, I don't think we need to be rushing. But if there was one person that I would absolutely to consider extending, it's actually Jazz right now. I'd get Jazz locked in. If he, say by the All-Star break, even if he's looking like an All-Star second baseman, looks like he's going to hit 40 home runs. I would seriously consider doing it.
Yeah, it's still a ways away, but something that came up. We had a couple extra minutes before we were heading out, so I wanted to throw that in there where we were talking about it with Jazz. I was just curious to that. But that is going to wrap things up for us this week. Do hope everybody enjoyed the show. Also want to give a special thank you to NFE on the Strike Zone for allowing us to broadcast and kind of branch out a little bit on his X account. So anybody on X that is watching, if you've enjoyed the Pinstripe Chronicles, we welcome you to either follow us also on X if you are not. And if you'd like, just hit the sub button on YouTube and join the rest of the family. So thank you, NFE, for allowing us to kind of branch out a little bit and kind of share a little bit of the audience as we all are a very tight community. With that being said, I hope everybody does like this. Subscribe, share this out, your friends, your family, straight around the corner. So this is the Pinstripe Chronicles. I'm Uncle Tats. I'm here with Rob, Donald, and all of you.
What's our weekend plans? What's the weekend plans?
We also have the Upper Deck on Sunday at 11 a.m. And also hit that notification bell because over the weekend, you never know what's going to happen in baseball. That will pop up and do a show or have a reaction to something. So make sure you do hit that notification bell. The cat never
I was planning on doing a Yankified post-game show after tomorrow's game.
There you go. See, we're already plans are happening. So with that, just always remember, wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.